Open-weight AI is having its Kubernetes moment, and that matters more than the next model benchmark. If you run a small team and lose 2 to 4 hours a day to inboxes, follow-ups, invoices, and tools that refuse to talk, this changes what you can build without hiring. I'll show you why the winning setup is shifting from one AI vendor to an AI operations layer you control. Most coverage treats open models as a cheaper ChatGPT. That misses the infrastructure decision. By the end, you'll know where open weights belong in your workflow. I'm Lazar, and I build these systems for clients daily. Let's get into what changed. A Hack News discussion is circulating an argument from infrastructure engineer Toby Naup. Open-weight AI is entering its Kubernetes phase. The comparison is not that AI models and Kubernetes do the same job. It is that a technology can move from something specialists experiment with into a standard operational layer that companies expect to deploy, monitor, route, and integrate. The key term here is open-weight, not automatically open source. Open-weight models publish the learned model parameters, which means a business can run them on its own infrastructure or with a hosting provider it chooses. The license, training data, and surrounding tooling may still have restrictions. That distinction matters, especially if you operate in a regulated industry. But from an implementation point of view, available weights give builders options that API-only models do not: where the data runs, how long it is retained, which version stays in production, and how the model connects to the rest of the stack. Kubernetes did not win because every company wanted to become an expert in containers. It won because software increasingly needed a repeatable way to run across different environments. Open-weight AI is heading toward the same operational question. A founder does not need to ask, which chatbot is smartest this week? The useful question is, which part of my process needs a reliable model endpoint that I can keep running, audit, and swap without rebuilding the whole business workflow? That is a big change for builders and founders. Right now, many teams have an AI experiment trapped inside a chat window. Someone copies a customer email into ChatGPT, asks for a summary, then manually updates the CRM, sends a reply, and files the document. The model may save a few minutes, but the human is still the integration layer, and the errors, missed handoffs, and audit trail are still their problem. A proper AI operations layer is different. Gmail receives a request. The system classifies it against a defined rubric. It extracts the fields your CRM actually needs. A validation step checks for missing evidence. The workflow creates or updates the record, drafts the response, and sends uncertain cases to a human queue. The model is one component. The real value comes from the workflow around it: permissions, retries, logs, confidence thresholds, and clear ownership when something fails. Open weights are useful when that workflow needs more control than a black box API can provide. Maybe customer documents cannot leave a defined environment. Maybe one model is cheap and capable enough for classifying 20,000 routine emails each month, while a premium model handles the 5% of cases that need judgment. Maybe you need a model frozen to a tested version because changing its behavior without notice would break an invoicing or compliance process. But this is not an argument to self-host everything. That is where the Kubernetes comparison is useful, and where people get it wrong. Kubernetes created a lot of operational complexity for teams that did not need it. See examples of what we ship for clients at bizflowai.io. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you catch the next AI automation breakdown, especially the parts that turn a model into a working system. If you have a workflow buried in email, CRM updates, or manual data entry, book a free 30-minute discovery call at bizflowai.io.